A U.S. whistleblower has announced that the Vatican helped the USA recover a UFO that crashed back in 1933. Immediately after that, the Vatican began to establish its astronomy and, catch this, astrobiology programs with a telescope. They even named Lucifer. Yeah, they named it after Satan. And Pope Francis has a unique collection. Now, I collected baseball cards as a boy, but the Pope, he collects meteorites. Of all the denominations on earth, the Catholic Church seems to have a unique fascination with aliens and UFOs. And then later, we're going to talk about a pastor, a very famous, nationally known pastor, who says he has met with aliens. We'll get to that. Let's start with that recovered UFO. And this guy, he is Pentagon whistleblower David Grusch, who has said that the Vatican was fully aware of non-human intelligence and that it assisted the United States in retrieving a UFO, which was downed and was in possession of Italian dictator Benito Mussolini when the Second World War started. Grusch served in the Air Force and the National Reconnaissance Office, the NRO. His role was to work as the representative of the NRO when dealing with unidentified aerial phenomena, or UFOs. The task force was established specifically to investigate the UFOs. He's made shocking revelations to Congress that the USA has a top-secret UFO retrieval program, and this was kept secret even from Congress. On top of this, and his Area 51 claims, he added that the Vatican was involved in the first ever crash that they've recorded of a UFO. Now, Grusch, who you may have heard of, has stated that, quote, 1933 was the first recovery in Europe, in Magenta, Italy. They recovered a partially intact vehicle, and the Italian government moved to secure it in an airbase in Italy until around 1944-1945. The Pope back-channeled that and told the Americans what the Italians had, and we ended up scooping it, Grusch said. He added that UFO sightings were widely known during Mussolini's dictatorship in Italy. Now, that Pope that alerted the USA was Pius XII. It makes sense that if the then Pope knew about a crash like that he would want it falling into the safest hands possible. Germany still hadn't surrendered. You can count them out. The Soviets weren't much better, so alerting the USA actually would make some sense. Although, in today's world, it makes you wonder. When asked whether the Vatican knew about non-human existence on Earth, Grusch said, "Certainly. This makes sense to me given the Vatican's unusual interest in astrobiology of all things, and of all things space-related since that time." This is Bible teacher Nelson Walters. On this channel, we dig into Bible prophecy and the end times from angles that you probably haven't seen before, and from angles that you have, but from a different way of looking at it. And that is why many of you tell us you follow this channel. And today, we're going to look at a very interesting and possibly deceptive connection between the current Pope and aliens or interdimensional beings. If you do follow this channel, you are aware that we believe that UFO sightings and alien encounters are likely real, but probably are the result of demonic and fallen angel activity, not actually beings from other planets. That they are interdimensional beings posing as interstellar beings. And that when Satan and his fallen angels are cast out of heaven to the earth by Michael the archangel in Revelation 12, they will likely take another form than what they have in heaven, not their true form, but that form may likely be that they will pose as aliens come to earth. If this assumption is accurate, it makes the Vatican's interest in aliens kind of frightening. It means they have an interest in demons. Of course, the Catholic Church isn't the only major denominations taking alien demons lightly. Imagine if tomorrow an alien craft landed and the passengers told the world that they were the original creators of human beings on this planet, that thousands of years ago they manipulated monkey DNA to make us, just like the ancient alien TV shows are saying, that they were the gods of ancient Greek and Roman mythology, Egypt and all the others. What impact would that story have on faith worldwide, given the way the world is thinking today? It would mean that either the Bible or these aliens were telling the truth. If you hadn't had a chance to think this through ahead of time, if your congregation hasn't had the chance to think this through, the faith of millions or even hundreds of millions would be shattered. I mean, if an advanced being is standing before TV cameras saying things that contradict the Bible, it's easy to see people accepting what the living and breathing being is saying, rather than the Bible. In today's AI environment, something like this could even be a fabricated event. But let's assume for a moment that it's a true event. These advanced beings would then likely present a different gospel, a different good news to the Christians of the world, a different morality, and maybe a different leader, perhaps even the Antichrist. Paul spoke of this danger in Galatians 1:8. But even if we, or an angel from heaven, should preach you a gospel contrary to the one we preach to you, let him be accursed. So why was an angel from heaven mentioned in this verse? Maybe to warn us that fallen angels have and will present false gospels. In previous videos, we have discussed how Joseph Smith and Muhammad both received false gospels from fallen angels. It makes sense then that in the end times, the greatest time of deception in all of history, that a false gospel is coming, one that will delude the whole world. And that gospel could come from fallen angels. In fact, I think it likely. Atheists love aliens for this reason. Here's a joke that atheists often tell. At Earth's first dinner party with Catholics and aliens, the issue of Jesus' incarnation will be the elephant in the room. Frankly, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that the fallen angels are actually going to tell the world that Jesus was one of them. It's that kind of blasphemy and deception that Christians need to be prepared for. But it seems the Pope is preparing us to receive it, not to reject it. Is he being set up to be the Pied Piper, leading people to trust these interdimensional beings when they do arrive? And as we said, the Bible tells us that Satan and his fallen angels are coming. In Revelation 12, 7 through 9. It is a sure thing that they're being cast to the earth. However, if you have true faith and hear a lie coming from the lips of a fallen angel posing as an alien, lies such as they were our creators or that Jesus was one of them, etc., then you can know without a doubt that they are liars and imposters, that they aren't interstellar beings, but rather these interdimensional beings, heaven's cast-offs, and our great opponents. All Christians should be taught this from our pulpits. But that is not what the religions of the world are saying for the most part. Jesuit brother Guy Consamango, and most of those interested in this are Jesuits, by the way. He's a planetary scientist at the Vatican's observatory. He is also the curator of the Pope's very interesting meteorite collection. His comment is that extraterrestrial life is no threat at all to the faith. In a 2002 interview with U.S. Catholic, this brother even said he would be happy to baptize aliens if they wanted to, any entity, no matter how many tentacles it has a soul, he laughed. Well, maybe not. I thought only human beings had souls. Now, in the interview headline, "The Extraterrestrial is My Brother," the Vatican's chief astronomer, Reverend Jose Funes, said he saw no conflict between belief in such beings and faith in God, and that perhaps they are more evolved than humans and more righteous. Isn't that interesting? Now, Catholics aren't the only ones with extraterrestrial interest. Controversial Protestants, like megachurch pastor Rick Warren, say the same thing. In fact, he says he's been in contact with aliens, and they're going to help him spread the gospel. Even evangelist Billy Graham says, quote, "I firmly believe there are intelligent beings just like us far away in space who, quote, worship the same God we do." But all these feel-good ideas are assuming any alien is truthful and good. Assumptions that I would say, if you asked, most humans would instinctively make about an advanced creature and an advanced civilization. People figure if those creatures had time to develop the means to get to Earth, they also developed an advanced morality. The assumption, therefore, is that we can trust what they say. And at that assumption, Satan is smiling, I am sure. Might this alien deception actually be the great delusion that God sends in the end times, according to 2 Thessalonians 2:11-12? Does he send it by having Michael cast Satan and his angels to the earth? Does he send them to the earth? Therefore, God sends them a strong or supernatural delusion so that they may believe what is false, in order that all may be condemned who did not believe the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So God is going to send the world a test of faith. In my thinking, this just might be it. What does the Pope say? Quote, "Honestly, I wouldn't know how to answer," end of quote, the Pope replied. "But in every case, I think we should stick to what the scientists tell us," end of quote. Really, Pope Francis? This explains a lot about this man's theology on many subjects. It is entirely consistent with Pope Francis' positions on things like climate change, one world government, LGBTQ, etc., in every instance that I can think of. He sticks with what scientists and secular atheists have to say, not the Bible. This even extends to naming the telescope his scientist priests use, Lucifer. But the Bible should drive our understanding. For instance, the idea that there could be intelligent life in outer space is almost entirely based on non-biblical evolutionary presuppositions, namely that life can just appear anywhere it wants to if the correct material factors exist. And the notion of an alien life does not square well with Scripture. You know, the earth's pretty unique. God designed the earth for life, Isaiah 45:18, and the factors on the earth are really one of a kind. We've never found a planet quite like it. The other planets have an entirely different purpose biblically than the earth. The lights in the heaven were created for signs and seasons, days and years, as per Genesis 1:16. Then, of course, God's plan of redemption is solely for human beings, those descended from Adam. Jesus himself, God's one and only Son, became a man to pay the price for human redemption. Notice it was God's only Son. So there isn't room for redemption of other species and other Jesuses. So what will be the impact of so many Catholic and Protestant leaders believing in and trusting in aliens? And so many churches having nothing to say about the matter at all. That's what really gets me. I say it will be a great apostasy. Only those who truly believe will be able to look at these aliens and realize that they're lying. When they do great wonders and heal people and show us scientific things that we've never seen before, are you going to be able to look at them and realize they're liars? So this week, why not talk to your pastor about this issue? Even show him this video. I bet it isn't something he is even considering. In fact, it's always been the opinion of this channel that leaders like the Pope and Rick Warren will lead the great falling away. It makes perfect sense. Click right here to keep watching and discover why these two, in particular, are perfectly poised to lead churchgoers away from God and straight into the arms of Satan. Till then, this is Nelson, and I'll see you there.